My name is Olga Togus. I am the principal here at St. James Middle School. This is my 4.5 year at St. James Middle School, and this is my 22nd year in Horry County Schools. I'm first generation in my family to go to college. I'm first generation actually to be born in the United States on my mom's side. When pursuing my degree, one of the best pieces of advice that I had gotten is move to your vacation spot. So I did. But before that, I was really trying to be very selective, and I remember researching Horry County schools. And I do remember 25 years ago, this district was very progressive, and I was captivated. I mean, at that point in time, this whole concept of the internet and that I could research on the internet was a big deal. So that brought me here. When I finished my administrative degree, I didn't go immediately into applying for assistant principal positions. I wanted it to be the right time for the right reason. I am really invested in making this like special. This place is going to be special. It was before I got here, and it's going to stay that way. When I started kindergarten, I didn't speak English very well. Greek is our first language. So when I went to kindergarten, I had a very different experience, but it was really neat too, because I grew up in a Puerto Rican neighborhood, and nobody else spoke English either. So that was fine. They could all talk to each other, and then we all figured it out. But when you start out that way, and then there were other things in the neighborhood that I grew up in that they were thought of as limitations. So then as time passed and you really started to appreciate what education could do for you, you started realizing that like your limitations are the things that are going to be your inspiration, right? So I started really embracing like these things that were just weird to me. They started being the things that like still bring me joy. Like I am that stereotypical person that from my Big Fat Greek Wedding of give me any word and I will tell you how it comes from the Greek language. Like I do that. My husband and I have 2 young sharks who are part of the St. James community, so we are very invested in wanting everything to be the best it can be. We need them to have the special experiences that we know they can definitely have at St. James. My husband is also in education. He is elementary, middle, and high school certified, and with the various experiences that he has had since, in Horry County Schools specifically, since 1998, I have it so much better than can be imagined. So the fact that we're so invested in continuing those opportunities for education for the future, our boys see that, and they realize that we don't do this because we need a job. We do this because this is part of who we need to be in order to pay it forward for the incredible opportunities that we've got. One of our themes this year, when we're really listening to each other and really trying to do right by our self-care. You really learn that you have got to be willing to be vulnerable and in the learning zone. And that starts out with being able to, share what it feels like in order to go out of your comfort zone with some things. And when you do that with the other people that you care about, that's when your best gets even better. And that's when the safety is there. And that is when your colleagues become your work family. And that is what makes just family life here so special. When I am working with students and staff here, there are so many different pieces of myself that I see in them at different times. Some of my favorite conversations to have with students are when I get to tell them, here is what you look like, here is what I see you do, here is how I have watched you in this math class, you're gonna steer that ship. You don't need to be the teacher in order to make it happen. And then when you see that they hear you and they start to see those things about themselves and embrace those things, it is one of the most special things about being in education.